All right, welcome. Saturday Night Live here with the Sooner Surge boys. So, going to take your questions tonight as you get into the live with us. Make sure you subscribe if you have not to our channel. Please do that. Please like and comment. Love the comments. So, keep the questions coming tonight. Anything you want to ask us, Sooner Sports related, we're here for you. So, guys, you having a good weekend?
Yes, sir.
Hey, I just went and saw Mission Impossible.
Oh yeah,
Best
Wow.
movie of the year, not even
it,
close.
it,
Not
it
even.
was
Hey,
impossible, and then he did it
you
somehow.
love that.
The same thing every time.
Hunter, it was an amazing movie. Best movie of the year, not even close.
Has anyone seen the Freedom Ride movie?
No, not yet.
Yeah, I'm going to watch that next weekend. So
All right, we got a
our
comment
first
from
question
Matt
here, guys.
here. He says,
What's up, Matt?
when is the next commitment? Zion Wiggins is going to be on the 18th.
Yep,
So
Tuesday.
How you feeling on him?
same way been feeling. Nothing has changed there.
excellent.
And then you got
Yeah.
Tatum on the 21st. We can
Yeah.
shove it on Lincoln Riley there when he signs with the commission.
That'd be awesome.
Topher brings up a good point. I mean, Eugene Brooks is one where he has not set a date, so there's no telling when that one
It'll be soon though, I think.
No, and then it's also like there's a thing where there's going to be players that within this next month that we expect to be huge for Oklahoma that are just going to pop and don't even have a date set. So Eugene Brooks could be that guy that just one day, hey, I'm ready to commit and just announce.
That's true. Hey, Matt, I have not seen Flash yet. I really do want to see it. I've heard it's really good, so I'll have to check that one out. But
And speaking of Zion, Zion, it's going to make things interesting because there's now presumptively 5 receivers committed, though, considering the size that they want to do with Ivan Carry on. Do we see a potential decommitment from someone?
No.
Yes, no.
It doesn't make things interesting. Come on.
Well, no, I was just.
Hey, I think Jackson, everything I've heard on Carrion is the guy's going to probably bulk up when he gets here and be playing the tight end position. Am I accurate on that, guys?
Fast enough. If it looks like from his film, he's just not very fast. He's not fast enough for a wide receiver.
You're accurate on that, and 4 may not be the highest amount of receivers they take in this class.
Exactly. There's always that one other one that's a take regardless.
And that's Terry Bussey. If they can somehow get him, man, that would be an incredible pull from Venables.
Emmett Jones, guys. Braden also says Flash is a good movie.
Jay, it sounds like you're wrong, man. Not the movie of the year.
Sounds like Mission Impossible.
It's still the movie of the year.
Yeah.
Hey,
Sooner
turn your
Mars,
camera on, Jay. Everyone in the chat, he says he looks like Tom Cruise.
Let's see his face.
Let's see it.
I'm a twin, so I guess I would have to look like him too.
All right.
I mean, I don't have my sunglasses on at the top.
Y'all think he looked like Tom Cruise or no? That's a quick trivia question or a quick poll.
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not.
Tom
I'm
Cruise is
curious if anyone in here thinks he does, but anyways, y'all can let us know if you think he actually looks like Tom Cruise. And then any other questions, comments, feel free to put those in the comments.
Brody and Hunter, what all? Tatum's on the 21st. I know his recruitment's kind of been a little bit crazy, right? A little bit. I mean, is it still between just OU and USC and who else?
Well, he only put
It's OU USC.
Yeah, it's OU.
Top 2.
You're not fooling anyone on that one.
Well, guys,
the only celebrity resemblance here is Jerem kind of looks like the guy from Prison Break with the buzz cut.
With the shaved head, that's right.
Yeah.
It's a good show.
Yeah, it is a good show.
Well,
how much is baseball playing the role for Tatum?
Significantly.
Yeah, a lot. That's a lot of people will tell you that baseball is his first love. He cares about baseball more than he does football, even though he's a better football player, I would think, than a baseball player. Number one running back in the country kind of tells you that. But that's a big part of it. And USC doesn't have that baseball aspect now that they're going to the Big Ten, the weakest baseball conference in probably the entire country, at least among Power Fives, and that 20,000 miles of travel in a season for USC there. It's just not an ideal situation for sure. USC is a historic program, yes, but they have not been good as of late in baseball.
And I mean, I think that Skip Johnson, just another way to show that he's as hot as anyone in the country would be, to have a big part in landing a guy like Taylor Tatum, who's a very good baseball player and also the number one running back in the country.
Yeah,
as
Matt,
Matt says,
yeah, you're completely right on that. Soul mission, two-way sport. Skip Johnson's made it work for a lot of guys. There's another one outside of Kyler Murray and Cody Thomas, who now just got called up to the big leagues for Oakland. So that's a big part in Taylor Tatum.
Well, there's also another guy that's actually committed to OU, and James Nesta, who is a two-sport athlete as well.
And I know you guys are young, but Brandon Jones was a two-sport athlete at OU with baseball and football. So there's been other guys. And Topher, you're right. Reggie Willits has been massive in all this.
Yeah.
Hey, and the big news last week was Jackson.
Jaden
him a flip. Huge,
Man,
huge
what however, I think Oklahoma was able to pull this out because of David Stone, guys. I'll be honest. I think that David Stone had a big part in pulling Jaden.
It wasn't just David Stone. There was certainly other bigger factors.
Yeah, it is weird. Stone's obviously not committed. He's made that pretty clear on Twitter. He is not committed. But he's like, yeah, I can't do this about the Texas visit. Can't do this, my boy. Like, it ain't it. And then, recruiting him to OU, even though he hasn't committed yet, certainly it's interesting.
Yes, Stone had a decent amount in that, but I mean, it was primarily Todd Bates, and just the ability, just the resources he used in that recruitment that led to Jackson ultimately deciding to pick OU when it seemed as if it was going to be Texas up to about 48 to 72 hours prior to his announcement.
Hey, and I loved the way he committed. He had his mom say it. I thought that was great, actually.
Yeah,
cool.
And if you watch the commitment or the live on 247 Sports, if you actually made it through the first 30 minutes of them just completely not doing the announcement, which was terrible. Jackson was a very well-spoken kid, so great addition to the program. Braden says, any news on Williams Nwaneri? There's really not any news.
That's speculated date is August 1st. Yes.
Yeah, August 1st is the speculated date. There's not really any news other than that. Still like Brooklyn was that.
Yeah, I really think that if you hear anyone talk about it, whether it's from like Steve Wiltfong to an OU related guy that covers recruiting for OU, you've heard it's OU or Georgia, or you've heard it's OU and Missouri from really both sides. And the common theme there is OU inside all that. But I think it's going to come down to the very end.
I'll be honest. I follow Will Fong on Twitter and stuff. But when I watched that live commitment, that's the first time I've seen him on video. I'm not a fan of Will Fong, guys. I'm just not. I don't know what it is. I hate the fact that he changes his crystal ball the day of the commitment. He does it every time.
He's told where they're going, so he's trying to.
And then he changes it. Drives me nuts.
I know with Williams, last night he was in the Twitter space with Parker Thune, just listening in. I saw him in there last night, so I guess take that as you will.
Yeah, we got this comment right here. It says Georgia guys are the only ones saying they're in it. Yet no Georgia guy has entered a crystal ball for Williams Nwaneri. That tells me all I need to know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, with Williams, the guy I trust the most is Parker Thune. He's very close to that Lee Summit program. I I don't think there's anyone closer to the program than he is. So anything he says is pretty much what's going to happen, at least as of right now. And he's not wavering on his OU pick.
Well,
As of now.
How
And
sick
also,
is this? How sick is the D line going to be? Possibly. I mean, guys, it
Yeah.
could be so.
I mean,
so
you
ridiculous.
talk about maybe the best defensive line class in the country. Maybe. I mean,
Well, I mean, if you land the best player in the
It
class,
wouldn't be
then
maybe. It would be the best defensive line in the country.
Yeah.
And also, another thing that isn't being talked about is with Summer Williams Winery's 2025 teammates coming up for the party in the Palace, could we somehow see them persuade Williams Winery to come up to OU? And if that ends up happening, I mean, I think that's all you need to say, or that's all you need to see about where he stands with Oklahoma.
Yeah. Power line's really looking like it's going to be putting OU up into a top 3 class this year.
for sure.
We saw it first with Wyatt Gilmore's tweet when he committed. And then on Thursday with Jaden Jackson, there's 8 guys in that picture. So you would kind of think that means the feeling is we're going to land 8 defensive linemen this year.
Well, you also saw the Xavier Robinson tweet. I know something you don't know. Very interesting tweet.
Yeah. And I also have seen that I believe if you enter all like the current projected crystal balls for Oklahoma or all the people we expect to be Sooners, Oklahoma's recruiting class according to 247 Sports will be ranked 4th in the country. So you talk about the chance to have a top 5 class again, to have back-to-back top 5 classes, back-to-back top 10 transfer portal classes to build upon going into the SEC. Talk about 2 amazing foundation pieces for Brent Venables in his first 2 years recruiting-wise.
Yeah, and I'm ready, man. Seven Saturdays away till the opening game.
Yeah.
If y'all are listening, following along, watching this, please subscribe, as in the next few weeks we're going to have a giveaway of 2 tickets to the opening game there in Oklahoma. So please subscribe, follow along. We'll give you the details on how to sign up for that. But we'll be doing that. I think in a couple of weeks we'll have the giveaway. So please get your info in there. Subscribe to the channel.
Hey, 7 weeks. 7 weeks. Who's your favorite number 7 to ever don the number 7 jersey?
DeMarco Murray.
There's been some great number 7s. You had Gerald Moore, DeMarco Murray. I'm going to say my favorite here, Brandon Everidge, boys.
Brandon Everidge.
Yeah, he was kind of the staple, when Venables first came on as DC in the new Stoops era, that hard-hitting safety. He was kind of the initial one that they had.
I think Jay's favorite was Rhett Bomar.
Stop.
You want to know my favorite?
Well, I mean, I can say
Stop.
maybe my second favorite number 7 that I remember is a guy. I don't know if you guys would expect this to ever come out of my mouth, but is Ronnie Perkins. I mean, he was really good when he played at OU. I mean, there's no doubting that. He was really good.
I'll say Spencer Rattler.
Spencer Rattler, man.
Or Jordan Thomas. Jordan Thomas was fun to watch.
Wait, are you talking about Spencer
Hey,
Rattler?
I got one for you.
Pre-Canes deal or post-Canes deal? What Spencer Rattler's your favorite? Pre-Canes deal or post-Canes deal?
Free.
What, Jay?
Oh,
No, Hunter already said mine, Thomas.
Yeah, Jordan
I'd have to say Spencer Rattler, in all honesty. I mean, I think he's way overhated.
I agree.
Hey, Jay, who was the linebacker that you love, number 7, man?
Jaron Kanak this year, man?
No.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, Jaron Cannick's a dude, though.
Dude, some of these guys in the Schmitty games over the summer are looking ridiculous, guys.
Yeah.
Also, speaking of linebackers, we haven't done a podcast altogether where we've gotten to talk about the Big 12 Media Day, and the word you heard the most from Brent Venables was competitive depth. So I think that this year we're going to expect a much more deep and talented.
It better be. It better be.
Yeah, that's what you expect. And a name that came up a couple times was Connor Neer from Brent Venables. I mean, he's a dude. I think we talked about this in the Twitter space that we had, where he talked about how he had the championship pedigree, the mindset, the experience, and it sounds like that's a guy that Brent Venables fell in love with.
Taylor Heim too.
Yeah, Taylor Heim. He's going to be exciting in a few years. I don't think
Yeah.
he starts the field necessarily this year, but honestly, when Brent Venables is talking about you as a non-early enrollee, as much as he was at Big 12 Media Days, that means a lot. Like,
Same with Petaway.
yeah,
Don't say it.
Petaway.
Someone's on. Don't say that too loud.
Hey, I was just getting ready to say Braden mentions that he's excited to see Anthony, McCullough, and Bowen. And I think, according to Brody, 2 of those 3 is going to be major players this year. But I know
But
you're
Jerem
big
only
on.
thinks that 3 wide receivers are allowed to see the field. That's his problem. He
Okay,
does
I
not
don't have
think
a
that.
Actually, I've said they're going to play 5 or 6. I just said
So
it's
then
not a
what-
guarantee that Petaway is going to be on there right off the start.
All right.
But I guarantee you, Jaquez Petaway will be one of the top 4 receivers by the end of the year. I think.
By week 1, he'll be starting.
They're pretty deep at receiver. That's the thing. But they're deep, but we haven't seen a lot of these guys.
No one has proven
Thompson.
himself except for Farouk and Stoops. That's why.
I'm still a big Nick Anderson guy.
Yeah, I know. I am too. If we can.
yeah,
prove
just
it.
A guy that's growing on me a lot is Gavin Freeman. I'm starting to believe in what Gavin Freeman can become. I think he has a chance to be really electric in this offense.
I'm more interested to see how they're going to use the running backs this year and how they're going to split that playing time between Barnes and Sawchuk in a full season. You know, man, I saw a picture of Barnes yesterday on Twitter. That,
You see the one that Tawi Walker posted?
yes, did you see Barnes in that?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Good gosh,
He'll be
man.
running back 1.
I mean,
Hey,
dude does. I think Javonte Barnes may have a 10-pack by now.
well, don't forget about Jeremy's favorite number 24 of all time. Number 24 on the field, number 1 in his heart, Marcus Major. So, I mean, that dude.
Brennan Clay was a 24 as well. But hey, I agree with Topher. Brennan Thompson, you guys have talked about him before, that I'm not sure you can keep him off the field with the speed he has. And then, as Matt's saying, Brandon Harper, the kid out of Noble, right? I mean, he's like he's a 5'9". He's a smaller guy, but he definitely has proven a lot at the high school realm. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting where they put all these guys.
His high school stats are ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
He is some incredible stuff.
Yeah, Sawchuk and Barnes, I think that's a 1A, 1B thing. They both complement each other very well. So I'm excited to see.
it's going to be a
That is
lot
what-
like Samaje Perine and Joe Mixon.
Yeah.
Yeah, but hey, do y'all not think that? I don't remember last year running a whole lot of the best 2 running backs together at all. We're going to see more of Sawchuk and Barnes together?
Lebby doesn't do it a lot.
Well, I think we need to. I mean, I'd like to see.
I would like that and swing it out of the backfield to Sawchuk.
Yeah.
Just
Barnes could be a lead blocker. I mean,
and
Matt,
around
if you got Major 4th string, Matt, who do you got 3rd string? I'm curious to hear. You think Hicks or
I
Smothers
agree with
passes him?
Major at 4th. I think Smothers or Hicks, guys.
I would have Caleb Hicks probably at 3rd.
talking about speed on this team, you got Brennan Thompson, Petaway now, maybe Caden Durham. Like that's
Anthony.
3 guys. Andrew Anthony, but I'm just saying those 3 in particular are
KJ
setting track
Daniels.
records in the state of Texas and track. Like that's 3 of the fastest track runners in the past 5 years, and there's a good chance all 3 of them end up at OU.
I just hope Gabriel doesn't underthrow him.
This is a good. Well, didn't he overthrow Marvin Mims tons of times last year?
Mm-hmm.
This is a good point here. Sawchuk is hard to tackle, and when we talked about Sawchuk after the Cheez It Bowl, which obviously was a great performance by him, he his running style, he's got a little bit of Rodney Anderson in him. I don't know if I was the only one who saw it. But.
Hey, and you guys are also younger than me, but I see a mix of Rodney Harrison. Sorry, I don't know why I said Rodney Harrison for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Rodney Anderson and Quentin Griffin with the low. I mean,
low gravity.
But
low center of gravity. Definitely hard to bring down.
Sawchuk is faster
than both of those guys.
Yeah, and when you saw Sawchuk when he got to campus and then the Cheez It Bowl, like physically, he had gotten a lot stronger and a lot faster and a lot better. So now, like, imagine where he's at right now because he was healthy all spring. The spring game, obviously, they really didn't release him at all. Major didn't play in that. Then like Barnes, I think Barnes is going to be so good this year. Just having them, I think running back, we're set for the future.
Right, but it brings up a good point about your running back sometimes only as good as your O-line. And I don't know, is that the biggest question mark on this team?
No, I think it's the interior of the defensive line is still the biggest.
I'd say the O-line is way more questionable than the interior defensive line right now.
Good point, Jason. It could be the special teams.
No Turk.
Yeah,
yes.
kicker and punter.
Teams as a whole.
The O-line is way more questionable than the interior D-line at this point in time.
I agree.
Let's list off the names you got at interior D-line. You got DeJohn Terry. You got Grayson Halton, Isaiah Coe, Kelvin Williams if he can stay healthy, Jordan Kelly.
Did you guys see the updated weights? Like especially interior defensive line?
Dude, Isaiah Coe is 312 now.
Yeah.
Jonathan Lulu, yeah.
At 320.
Jonah Lulu, that's a great one, Jeremy. That's another guy. I mean, Ashton Sanders. Ashton Sanders is going to see the field this year.
Yep, that's another name that's under the radar.
Yeah,
Philip
to me, the one to watch is Luolu. I think he's going to kind of have a breakout year.
Say it again.
It's Laulu.
Hey,
Kelly's 300.
Right.
Yeah, Kelly's 300, right?
Yes.
What was he last year? Do y'all remember?
He was like 288.
I was thinking he was upper 280s, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, hey, these guys are getting Schmitty built. Who do you guys think will be the two starting defensive ends week 1?
Hey, Brody, what'd you say Jordan Kelly was?
I saw 300.
Yeah, 302.
Yeah. 2 starting DNs. I'll go. It's tricky because I'll go R. Mason and Rondell Bothroyd, but I wouldn't be shocked if it's Ethan Downs and Rondell Bothroyd.
Are we going to see first game? Are we going to see a 3-down lineman?
Yeah,
you'll see it. I mean, they're going to go vanilla against Arkansas State. I think that's fairly obvious.
Game is really kind of a scout game. Like it's going to be a very basic offense and defense. SMU will kind of step up a bit. They're a solid team that could be one to give you a fight.
They're a solid offensive. I don't know much about them defensively though.
They have good secondary. Really good secondary.
Hey, one thing, Jay, you mentioned about the depth. What's crazy? So we've mentioned all these DNs with Mason Thomas. With Downs was the only guy who got any votes on the Big 12, and we mentioned that he may be a starter. Stripling has put on weight. Stripling a guy that we haven't
Stripling
mentioned.
had a good spring.
Like Topher said, Trace Ford. I mean,
yeah, and there's
these
just
are
so
guys that we haven't even and forgot about Reggie Grimes, but he probably is going to be. I mean, lost.
See,
Guys,
I just don't know where Grimes and Stripling fall on the step chart at this point in time.
I don't know where Grimes falls. I think Stripling's going to get some run in there. A guy we didn't mention yet is the 5-star PJ Adebawore. You're not going to keep a 5-star off the field.
Hey, I'd be willing to. I'd bet everything that Rondell Bothroyd starts on that DN.
Yeah, I'm with you on that.
There's no way he doesn't start. Hey, here's a good question from Matt. He says, "How much has Ashton Sanders developed in size in athletic ability?" The athletic ability, I don't quite have the answer to that. I do know that he had a really good spring and that he has impressed in the summer. So he came in at 270, and now he's at 285. So he's put on 284.
Hey, another guy that we haven't mentioned, and if you follow him on Twitter, he's so bought into the program right now, is Devon Sears. And he's big time bought in. And I don't know enough about him from his previous where he was at as far as what he's going to contribute, but I do think he's going to play a role.
Guys, another interior D lineman that wasn't mentioned, Jacob Lacey.
Yeah,
they have guys there.
Well, Jay, as you said with Sears, the one thing that stood out about him from Texas State was his ability to rush the passer from the inside. Now, I just don't know how developed he is in the run game and his pad level, but I think with the coaching under Todd Bates, he'll get there and get developed.
The most important thing is we all know that Venables likes to be not simple. He likes to be multiple. And I think what you're seeing with the guys they have is they can very much interchange guys, switch guys around to go 3 or 4 down linemen. He didn't have that last year, guys. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
He didn't have the players. He tried to do it. Just didn't
Hey,
play.
Bothroyd's going to play D end. That's really not up in the air.
Well, I could see him next to Coe if they were playing a 4-down lineman. I could see him
Not
moving
4.
inside.
They're not going to play him at DT.
Yeah,
He's a D end.
He's a good edge rusher.
He
Really good.
according to PFF, he's going to be he is heading into the year as the number 1 defensive end in the conference.
What is Rondell Bothroyd? Is he 280 or 282 in that range? Do you know, Brody?
I got it right here.
I
Well,
also agree with Topher and Matt about Jacob Lacey. I know there's some things that
He's 275. Yeah, just nothing's been confirmed on that. But guys, we're talking about weights and all that. Here's a name that has to be mentioned from the Tulsa area, Jaden Rowe. The dude, let me see the official weight that he's at right now. I remember
224, I believe.
224. Jaden Rowe's at 224.
Hey, and I watched him. I watched him on the track at the state champ. The guy is unbelievable. His sprint mechanics.
Where are they playing him?
He's got to be at safety, right?
He could
I
play
would say
safety or corner.
I would think corner or cheetah. That's
Nah, not. I think it'd be safety.
Cheetah's
Taylor
so
Hines.
deep.
Taylor Hines going to be a cheetah.
yeah.
He just needs a few years. I mean, 6'6".
I don't remember exactly where I heard it, but I remember hearing that someone said that Taylor Hines is the most athletic linebacker / cheetah they have on the roster currently.
Hey, I know Rowe was brought in for corner, but
No, they played him at. That was one where I think it was Teddy Lehman who said on the ref. They were just playing him there to get him to work on some more skills and then just to let him play that position. But the end goal has always been safety with him.
he would be a scary corner.
He would be. So I don't know. He might play corner. I honestly don't know. I know that he was at corner when he was healthy, but I don't know if they're gonna move him to safety or not. With Taylor Hines like that, I don't know. He's 6'6", he's athletic, but Harrington is a freak athletically, and so is Deshaun McCullough. So another dude who's impressed, and this was one for media days. Lewis Carter, 6 reps of 350. That is insane.
And if you guys know me, that's one of the guys I'm extremely high on.
I just don't see him playing this year.
I'm just gonna say Venables called him the best player in Florida. I think Lewis Carter's gonna see some snaps this year.
I don't think he will. I don't think he came in late to learn that defense. I don't know.
Oh, so did Armason Thomas.
Yeah, but it's different being an end than a linebacker in this defense, I think.
Hey, Jay, let me ask you about a guy who you're sitting there talking about Lewis Carter. There's a guy at linebacker where I haven't heard a whole lot about Kobe McKenzie.
Oh, he's going to play this year for sure.
I know he's going to play.
You heard a lot more about him in the spring.
Right. That's what I'm saying. It's kind of been
he
quiet.
looks the part this year. I mean, he put on some good muscle. I think he's got a year under his belt as far as learning the system. I think he's going to be the interchangeable there at that linebacker. He's not going to start, but he'll be in there and playing quite a bit.
I agree here. I think Woody and Gentry are the 2 starters at corner.
I would agree, Matt, with that for sure.
And I would say another name that I wouldn't expect to start, but another name I would expect to play quite a bit is Josiah Wagner.
And Kendall Dolby, too, both of them.
Kendall Dolby as well. Josiah Wagner, he was talked about a lot all spring. Just Jay Valai called him a pit bull, I believe. So
yeah,
it's he has that fierceness. He's only 5'10", I believe, but he's someone when you have someone that's like him that has that killer mentality on the field that's not going to be afraid of anything. Brent Venables, he likes that mindset when you see how aggressive he is on defense and the way
Jeremy, you saw Gentry as well on track, and he's a guy at cornerback that can be a little bit out of position, but can make up for it with his speed.
Oh yeah, his speed's. And
that's
the
year
thing
he was
with
the
this.
fastest guy on the team, I believe, was Sawchuck. Those two were the 2 fastest.
Yeah. Hey, Ron Brown, right here. This is something we talked a whole lot on last year, especially at the end of the year. You know, we talked about, maybe Venables will talk with Stoops some, but definitely the in-game coaching was Brent Venables' weakness last year.
Yeah, it sounds like he's improving on it. He mentioned it in media days on.
He did bring it up, yeah.
He's got to improve on game management decisions. Last year, he set it himself just not good at it. So I think we're going to see a lot a much improved Brent Venables this season.
Yeah, and Jeremy thinks Jeff Lebby really needs to improve on his in-game coaching as well. I don't know if you guys listened to the Sooner Surge last season. If you do, just know that Jeremy was very critical of Jeff Lebby and basically said said that
hey.
the
Hold
coaches
on.
hired the wrong
Hey,
guy. They should have hired
do-
Jeremy Lusk as the offensive coordinator instead of Jeff Lebby because
Hey,
he says he could just call a way
okay.
better game than
I
Lebby.
actually do have a stat to back up Jeremy on this. Oklahoma led the country in 2nd and 8 or longer. I think it was 128 or 138.
We really gonna have this argument right now?
No,
and that stuff is all acknowledged
off-
in media days. They're going to
First off,
improve.
since you're going to call me out, I don't know why you're calling me out, but since you're going to call me out, my whole problem with Lebby, and I hope him and Venables talked about it, was sometimes you don't need to go 2 seconds between snaps when you have a lead and there's that was part of the game management issue. I'm just saying.
I agree with that aspect. I think he's got to be selective with it.
Yep.
But
And
like they
also-
talked about it on media day. You can't get into 2nd 8 and 2nd 9. It just can't happen.
No. And also, I believe that Oklahoma, they may have been number 1 or their top 5, but in possessions under 1 minute this year as well, which just can't happen. They have to give the defense time to rest.
The good thing is, even if they do get into some of those situations, is there's finally depth on the defensive side of the ball. You can kind of rotate guys in and out, keep more guys fresher than last year. I mean, Danny Stutzman played pretty much every single snap last year.
And I saw
that was the only choice.
Yeah, BV addressed that. He said we only had 3 linebackers who could just line up out there and know what position to be in, and one of them was supposed to be a DN.
But at the same time, Brent Venables also talked about on media day how he needed to play the youngsters more, and he didn't. He should have played Kanek more. He should have played some other guys more, and he just didn't.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. I also think that's something to watch this year is how much does Brent Venables play his younger guys? Because obviously this year, I believe 95 of the 128 roster spots, Brody Hunter, maybe you guys could back me on this, was it 95 or 98, are 1st or 2nd year players under Brent Venables.
Well, here's the deal. Let's be honest. If anybody knows Venables at all, Venables is a big-time competitor. And last year, he came in and was dealt a hand that he had. And I think, like he said at media days, he gave everybody a chance. I think he quoted basically talking about Deion Sanders, how he ran people off. Brent Venables gave him a year, and then he ran people off. People like David Agwebu that are no longer at OU was basically told that you're not going to be playing linebacker here. I mean,
I believe that Brent Venables talked about too was part of the deal was that you had to go to class, you had to do your diet right, and all this stuff. And some of the players just weren't Brent Venables' culture fits. They were.
Well, he's not going to go another year just 6 and 6. He's a very competitive dude, and you were talking about who are they going to play if they're going to play youngsters. I think he feels like he's got the depth now that if people make mistakes, they're coming out and somebody else is going in. I think you're going to see a little more of that, honestly.
And also, I don't expect as many mistakes to be made because for a lot of guys, it's their 2nd year in the scheme and comfortable.
Well, that helps, yeah.
Yeah. With that, Jay, you think we get the fiery Venables back on the sidelines?
I do kind of think we're going to get a little bit more.
I
think last year he was kind of learning the ropes of how to act on the sideline. I think he's going to be a little more fiery. I really do. I even thought in the media days that he was a little more relaxed, not as uptight on the media days as he was the year before. I don't know. I may be wrong in that, but just kind of what I thought. But.
Mm-hmm. I agree. And you saw also a lot more thoughtful responses from Brent Venables as well, and just not letting his complete competitiveness get in the way of things. And, with this team, Jason, next year, I think it's just going to be a question amongst who separates themselves as a lot of the positions, because you talk about wide receiver, interior defensive line, maybe defensive backs in some sort of way. There's just kind of offensive line. There's really a lot of healthy competition this year.
There is, and I got a question for the viewers listening. Is anything less than 10 wins a disappointing season to you this year? And I know we had high hopes last year as OU fans, but I would just looking at their schedule. If OU doesn't win 10 games, I can just tell you right now, as an OU fan, I'd be disappointed.
Yeah,
They should go 12 and
That's
0.
just me.
yeah, they should.
They should
11
go 12 and 0.
Honestly,
11 and 1 if you have injuries will make sense.
Texas is the toughest game on their schedule.
I agree.
but is Texas back, Jay?
You know, and I think Texas is as close to being back as back can be. I'm not going to
Wow.
say Texas is
Wow.
back.
The fact that you even
wild.
said and you thought about that question is crazy.
They're
If you
close
ask-
to being back. They're
Okay.
not back.
Oh,
I don't like to give
They are close.
Texas credit or praise Texas, but I do think they have the second best wide receiver core.
Oh, gosh. They got y'all with the offseason trophies again this year, bro. That's all they win is in the offseason.
You can't deny that Texas doesn't have talent.
Hey, you know what Texas's biggest problem is this year?
They're not starting their best QB.
Quarterback.
They're not starting Malik. He needs to start.
No, he doesn't. I do not want to face him.
I think Texas is going to struggle in Big 12 play, but if they did pull off a major non-conference upset,
At Alabama,
I hope
would-
they beat Bama.
I would not be shocked on that.
Yeah.
That, like, looking at just non-conference games as of right now, in the big matchups preseason, that's the one that I kind of can see an upset happening. But again, I wouldn't be shocked if I would honestly be shocked if they win 10 games. Texas.
Wait. I got a question for everyone, this viewers and everyone on here. Do you want Texas to beat Alabama in the non-conference? To me, there's only one correct answer.
I mean, yes, if we beat Texas, but I mean, I don't really know. I don't care if Texas wins or loses against Alabama, I'll be honest.
Hey, and
I think
Ron,
Topher commented about the TCU short week, which we talked about when the schedule came out. Remember that?
And it's an 11 a.m. kick, too.
That's
I know,
not a
that's
shocker,
a
though.
tough
That's what they
BYU
do
TCU.
for that's what they do for Big 12 Black Friday games. It's always 11 a.m.
Yeah, but the road game to BYU the week before kind of sucks.
Yeah.
I mean, but did y'all see the BYU mascot get fined
No, really.
at the media
Dude
day?
fell for a fake tweet again. Oh my dude, you just believe anything you see on Twitter.
hey, he's the
come
most
on
gullible
now.
person there is.
Was it real that BYU painted their field wrong? That was real, right?
I don't know. It might have been edited.
I don't know. It looked, if it was edited, it was a
No
real-
matter what, Jay would have said it's real.
Yeah,
Hey.
he probably would.
Calling out
There,
Jay.
there's no way we're slower on defense this year because Agwebu's gone.
I agree with John. No, doesn't like either team, Alabama or Texas. Yeah, I agree. Just I don't care who wins that game.
Igwebu ran in quicksand the whole year.
I mean, personally, like on the Bama Texas thing, if say Texas wins and then finishes the year like with 8 wins again, you know how funny that's going to be because they're going to be on top of the world, probably top 3 in the polls that week after upsetting Bama in Tuscaloosa, and then just to fall off completely. It's just that's what Texas has been for the past 10, 15
Hey,
years.
I wouldn't
And
mind
to
them
be
beating
fair-
Bama and then being ranked in the top 5 when we play them, and then we
Yeah,
beat them.
exactly. That's
a top
and what's
win.
even
To be fair, even though we didn't have Dylan Gabriel, we still lost to Texas 49-0.
hey, but what's going to be even more funny is when they lose to OSU, who now I would say is probably the modern day Kansas of the Big 12.
Yes, absolutely. OSU is in no way a top 7 team in the Big 12.
Alan Bowman.
No one gave him a first place vote.
Exactly. That
We
was one of
We
the.
know who that was.
That was crazy.
Hey, what did y'all? I got a question. I got a question for the listeners and the viewers out there. What did y'all think of Mike Gundy's comments about the Bedlam?
Mike
Gundy's
Gundy
butthurt.
is-
Mike Gundy's an idiot, Jason. He's an idiot.
I lost all respect for
Do you
Gundy.
want to know what Mike Gundy
Oh.
is?
Media credentials from a reporter for asking a legitimate question last year after the bowl game.
Mike Gundy is the mean grandpa that no one likes. That's what Mike Gundy is. That's what he's become.
Mike
Hey.
Gundy is a little brother that no one likes. I mean, that dude has won what? He's won 4 times in his entire
Three.
career against
Three,
OU.
I
3,
believe.
something like that. I mean,
I while Brody got on to me about Levy, and there are some things I question, John does bring up a point that I agree with that I mentioned several times last year. Every time in the post-game interview, Levy said, I've got to get better. I've got to work on some things. So at least the accountability, the self-check and self-monitoring, he seems to be a guy that does that, like John's saying.
This is a pretty accurate description of Mike Gundy right here.
Yeah.
Here's another one.
Gundy's blaming OU on everything, even though it was 10 years ago, 11 years ago that OU decided not to go to the SEC because of Oklahoma State, and Oklahoma State wasn't extended a invite, and then now the opportunity arose again, and you're mad that we took it. I don't know. Anyone would have took that opportunity. That's and then to just refuse to play. You want to talk about how much the rivalry game means, and then the university will refuse to play, to even attempt to schedule it. It's weird.
Hey, I just saw John's comment on there. I agree 100% about the Levy comment he made about Levy's first year running the system by himself pretty much, and he's going to learn from his mistakes too. I 100% agree with that. And I think he probably has sat down with Venables, and they talked about some things that didn't do well last year. And so I think you'll see a little bit different from Levy as well, for sure.
Is Alan Bowman the worst starting QB in the Big 12 this year?
Yes.
I don't
might be. Was he a third string at Michigan last year?
Well, the problem with Bowman is he can't stay healthy ever.
No, I hope he stays healthy. I'm not hating on him at all, even though it might sound like I am. No hate
towards. He played pretty good at Tech, though.
He played pretty good at Tech.
Isn't the starting QB for BYU Keaton Slovis now?
I'm taking him over Bowman.
Yeah, I would.
What are your thoughts on TCU this year? Was that a fluke?
It's going to be interesting with Chandler Morris hopefully getting to start finally.
TCU will be an 8-win team this year. I got TCU at 8-4, somewhere like that.
Yeah, it's not a fluke. They had more experience than anyone in the country. Like that entire team was 4th, 5th, 6-year seniors.
Yeah.
A team like that should go as far as TCU did, and they did it.
I don't know what they're going to do without Deuce Vaughn, though. Did y'all see that reporter who asked Sonny Dykes about what they're going to do, how they're going to replace Deuce Vaughn?
Thank goodness he is out of this conference, and we don't have to play K-State.
Yeah, I don't – if we had to go back to Manhattan this year, I would not be looking forward to it.
I do think we're going to play K-State in the championship game.
All y'all on here who are not Cowboys fans are still going to have to deal with Deuce Vaughn.
Yeah.
That man is – he's about to be a demon in Dallas.
Yeah, hopefully he gets some reps there.
Yep. Him and Tony Pollard are going to be a great duo, I think.
I hope so.
Their weight combined may not be that of Ezekiel Elliott 2 years ago.
Gosh.
Or maybe now. I don't think he's working out at all. He still doesn't have a job, so.
I thought he signed.
No,
never signed anywhere.
You're not really in the loop.
I thought he went to
You'll watch the Cowboys when it's in the playoffs.
That was a fake tweet again, Jay.
No, I'm not talking about a fake tweet. I thought there was a very good interest that he was going to go there.
I could go on Twitter right now and say that LeBron James has decided he's going to play for the Dallas Cowboys next year, and you'd be on here saying, did y'all see LeBron is playing for the Cowboys next year?
Hey, you want to talk about the biggest robbery of the week was the freaking ESPYs. ESPN not giving the
that's
the best
ridiculous.
team of the year to OU women's softball. Give it up.
That is show how disrespected women's sports is in general. And
What's really though, Jackson, what it shows is that way more people watch NFL. They're going to get more votes. Let's be honest. That's why they won it. But they're not the best team of the year. I'm almost positive they used to do on the ESPYs. They used to have like a women's team of the year too. Did they not? Is that?
I thought they did. I didn't know it was a.
Yeah, I agree. I thought they did.
Hey, another thing. Speaking of women, did y'all see that girl, the WNBA 3-point shootout yesterday?
No,
unbelievable. She missed 2 shots.
Anescu.
She missed her first shot.
33 shots or something.
Dude, it was insanity.
They still need to make the goals 8 foot in women's basketball.
Oh,
Brittany
no.
Griner can dunk. I don't know if you
Violate him
saw it.
like that.
It's not a violation. The views would go up.
Hey, let me ask you this, guys, and the viewers, put your comments below as we ask this question. Big 12 title game, who do you got this year? 2 teams. Hunter, you said OU Kansas State.
Yeah.
I'm going to go OU Texas.
Yeah,
I'm
we're
going
out.
very high on
Out.
Texas this year.
I'm
Give
OU
me-
Texas as
You
well.
think
Hey.
they're back?
Give me OU and Texas Tech and Joey McGuire. I love Joey McGuire. He's my second
like
favorite
him
coach
too.
in the Big 12.
Oh,
I
yeah.
like
Do you like anything
McGuire.
about Texas
Joey
Tech?
McGuire runs the Big 12, right, guys?
That's what he
the
says.
conference.
That's what he said.
I don't like Joey McGuire.
Hey,
Guys, don't worry. Oklahoma,
15's got OU Texas Tech as well.
according to the
15's
commissioner,
bringing the heat tonight with the comments, man.
Oklahoma and Texas have not carried the Big 12 in recruiting. That's just
Well,
crazy.
also according to someone, OU and Texas are leaving the conference to go lose to Alabama. So
That one was misquoted.
Hey, we already got 2 votes on the comments for OU Texas Tech, Jackson, so they're agreeing with your comment there. Dalton agrees, OU Texas Tech, Chicken 15.
I mean, I also think that Texas Tech honestly may have the second best QB in the conference, debatably, in Tyler.
Wow.
Hey, what?
Who's won?
Who's
Jalen
won?
Daniels.
Oh, okay. I
Who?
thought
So where are you
Jalen
ranking
Daniels.
Gabriel at, Jackson? Where's Gabriel ranked?
3.
what about Quinn Ewers?
13th.
See, now you're just being
I'm
biased.
kidding.
Nah, Jalen Daniels is top 2.
I don't think I put Daniels at 1.
Did y'all see his necklace he was wearing?
It was fire.
That was awesome. We got 2 for OU Texas. I said OU Texas. Jeremy, you said OU Texas too?
Yep.
Brody, who'd you say?
I'll go OU Texas.
Jerm, who's your 1 at QB?
I guess it's not that Daniels can't be the one. I just don't know that there's a clear-cut favorite in the conference this year because honestly, depending on how Gabriel does,
Dylan Gabriel should be the 1. honestly.
Gabriel, Daniels.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm just shocked you
Should.
admitted that.
Should.
I'm just
Doesn't
shocked you
mean it's
admitted
gonna
that.
happen.
Well, also, I think
I think Dylan Gabriel could throw for what 10,000 yards, and y'all'd still be hating.
Hey, Hunter, didn't you and Jeremy think Jackson Arnold will be starting by the Texas game?
yeah.
I said as of right now he should be.
I
He
thought you
should
said he
be.
would.
No,
be.
you said
I mean,
you said he would be.
You said
If
he
you
was
look
going
at
to
history,
On
history
Jackson Arnold?
Yeah.
Yeah, I do think it's certainly a possibility, but it depends. Does Dylan Gabriel improve this year or not? He should improve, yes. So if he improves, then he should
Dylan
be. in the
Gabriel,
top
I think,
2
will
conversation.
improve.
It's
If
certainly a
receivers
question
don't
about
drop
Arnold
balls
starting
and he
because when
completes
was the
wide
last
open.
time DG didn't get hurt in a season?
Yeah, that's the other thing.
Yeah.
and I know you guys may not be on this side, but I still think there's a possibility that they have a small package for Arnold regardless. But Gabriel does need it.
Oh,
I
Yes, they
agree, they
will.
will. Yes,
They
they
will.
will. You're
Yes,
not
they
just gonna.
will.
Yes, they're gonna get him on the
No.
field. They're not just gonna
Look at
throw him into the
freshman
fire against
packages
Bama.
OU's had like in the past few years. They had a Chandler Morris package. They
that
had a
was under
Caleb
Lincoln
That was under
Riley.
Lincoln
That
Riley.
was under Lincoln
Oh,
Riley.
so Jeff Lebby can't do it then, huh?
Yeah.
Like,
I
come
don't
on,
think
bro.
so.
They're not just gonna have Jackson Arnold the
They're
first
not
time
redshirting him. That's
in
stupid.
his
Dylan
first
Gabriel's going to
meaningless
be
snap
almost
is not going to be in the SEC. That's just not going to happen. They're not that stupid.
Dylan Gabriel is going to be one of the highest passing yards in the history of college football after he's done this year in his career. He's a good quarterback. He's good enough to take him to the playoffs.
Hey,
period.
we agree with you. I think Dylan Gabriel, I already said, could be the top in the Big
Is
12.
he good enough to take OU to the playoff?
Who?
Yes.
Gabriel.
Yes.
I
If
agree.
Dylan Gabriel's on his A game, yes.
Yeah, he's got to be efficient. Got to be efficient.
I think. And his main issue last year was overthrows. If he could have fixed that, you're talking about him being a top 3 quarterback maybe in college football last year.
No, my main issue, and we talked about it, my main issue was I thought Dylan Gabriel should take more risks. He always played it safe. His interception numbers are way low. I mean, he doesn't throw picks, but sometimes I think he needs to, instead of maybe just taking the dump off, maybe try to make a play, take a risk some. Maybe I shouldn't wish that, but
Well, I know that we talked about this after the Cheez It Bowl too, was that we saw a more emotional and fiery Dylan Gabriel as well. I hope to see that all this year, a dude that shows it more on the field, wears it on his chest more. And I think, as you guys said, Dylan Gabriel has a chance to be a top 5 quarterback in all of college football next year if he can put it all together.
And he's definitely got all the pieces around him.
Yeah. Oklahoma definitely has a much more deep wide receiver room this year. I would say it's something that for sure agreed upon.
Yeah, probably got about 10 more minutes here, guys. If you have questions, throw them in there for us, but keep them coming.
Well, this is also another comment that I had is, where do you guys think Kansas will fall this year in the Big 12? Because I know I've heard some mixed opinions on Kansas.
I think they'll be in the top half of the conference. I think they'll have another good season. Jalen Daniels, really good quarterback. Finally starting to turn the program around, and I think they're going to build off of last year.
I feel like they have a really good defensive back, too, that's really high on draft boards, but I'm not sure of his name.
Yeah, to be honest, I could care less about Rock Chalk Jayhawk, but they'll be good. They won't be. I don't think they'll do as good as they did last year. They'll have about one game or so less wins than last year, I think.
So you're saying 6 wins?
I'm maybe around 6 wins. Look at Chicken 1515 says it's not the quarterback, guys. Up your game. He's a very efficient quarterback. Yes, Arnold is more talented, but IQ is more important. And I would agree.
I also think that Jackson Arnold may have a higher IQ than Dylan Gabriel. We haven't seen Jackson.
Yeah, but he's just too young. He's a freshman quarterback. True freshman quarterbacks never, ever. Even Caleb Williams did not have a great freshman year. He had a few good games, like the Texas game, but the Kansas game, if you remembered, he struggled. And there's other games. It's hard for a true freshman quarterback to come in there. There's no way he's going to come in there and be able to pick up the offense, I think, as quick as Gabriel. There's just no way. I don't see it happening.
I wouldn't say DG's IQ is elite.
I think he's a pretty smart quarterback in this offense, Brody. I agree with that.
I don't know. There was a lot of times last year where that dude was throwing to his first read way too much, and people would be like, "Oh, they got people wide open all over the field." He's not finding.
Last year was his lowest rating of his career. So.
Coincidentally, his first year playing Power 5.
Well, yeah. I also think that there's definitely a lot of work to be done by Dylan Gabriel.
Well, and I think if you ask, I see Les's comment here, and I would agree. And I think if you ask Jackson Arnold, he'd be like, I mean, sure, he'd love to play, but he's also probably like, hey, a year under Gabriel would really benefit him for the next year.
I also think that he said that whenever
he did.
He did. He said, yeah, I know I'm not going to start this year. I'm willing to sit behind and learn from Dylan Gabriel.
Hey, let me ask the youngies on here, since Jay and I are the old guys. Brody, Jackson, and Hunter. I'll buy you a drink of your choice next time I see you guys. If you can tell me.
Red Bull.
The Red Bull of your choice. If you can tell me Jamel.
He wasn't asking you.
What?
Jamel Holloway's number. Do you guys know it?
Oh.
They don't know it, I bet, Jeremy.
I guarantee it. Don't look it up.
It was a weird one, wasn't it?
I'm not saying.
Answer the question, Hunter. What was
24. It's a 24.
There's a 5 in it.
No.
48.
No.
Do you even know what position he played, Jackson?
Yeah, quarterback.
Have you ever seen a number 48 quarterback in your life? Why are you looking it up, Jackson? It's number 4, guys.
Number 4.
Goodness, guys. That was before your time.
Yeah, it was. I'm sorry that I didn't know Jamal Holloway's number.
What number is it, Jerm?
4.
4.
Jay, what number was Charles Thompson?
1.
Nice.
Actually, Charles Thompson was not 1, was he?
Yeah, I believe he was.
I was thinking he was 6.
No, I believe Charles Thompson's won. But anyway, hey guys, so viewers, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Like I said earlier, we're going to be doing a giveaway for tickets to the opening game. So make sure you get subscribed so you can follow us, and we'll let you know the details of that coming up in the next week or two. We're going to try to do these Saturday Night Live editions every week. So make sure you subscribe. Stay tuned for that. Jackson, you got something real quick?
Charles Thompson was number 6. Jeremy.
Thank
Oh,
you,
There
Jason.
you go, bro. There you go. Thanks for calling me out, Jackson. Hey, but look, Charles Thompson, number 1 in 1988, I believe, is what Chicken 1550.
Yeah.
So we may have both been correct.
You guys.
So that's probably a good end. And once again, guys, thanks so much for joining in and commenting and just following the channel. And so once again, talk to y'all next time. Boomer, guys.